And Holly, thank you again for coming back and doing a second segment with us. And I really appreciate that you have on your Survivor gear. This is from season 21, Survivor Nicaragua. And that's your actual shirt that you wore, your swimsuit, right?
It is, and this is my shirt, and this is my swimsuit. Yes, that was the thing about Survivor. You only had one set of clothes, so I thought I'm just going to wear this thing the entire series that we do this because that's how it was in the jungle. So,
but
yeah.
you were telling me earlier you didn't get to do your hair and makeup when you were on Survivor.
I did not.
That was really interesting, wasn't it? A lot of people are experiencing that because we're taping this during the Corona crisis, the COVID-19, and a lot of people are saying, you can't go to a beauty parlor right now. A lot of them are shut down, and right now the most important thing is staying safe, trying to overcome our fears and really staying focused. And when we were talking before, we talked about you have 6 words: faith, attitude, determination, confidence, desire, and perseverance. And you kind of talked a little bit about how you didn't have the best of attitude starting off, maybe calling people names. What'd you do with the shoes again?
Well, there was this gentleman on our tribe, and yes, he started getting under my skin, and I stole his $1,600 pair of alligator shoes, and I filled them with sand, and I threw them in the ocean. And let's just be real. We all have that one coworker. We all have that one relative where we would probably love to do the same thing, but I acted out before thinking.
Oh, interesting.
How many times do we do that? We say things that we shouldn't and we regret later, or we do things that we regret because of our anger, our anxiety. So those are things that we have to really think through before, you can't take words back. People can forgive you, but those words are always said.
Well, and that's so true, especially with this virtual environment, emails and all the texting, and you can't read the emotions in them. And so our communication is so decreased if you can't see people day to day.
Right.
And people are already afraid. So you're right. They're acting without thinking, and they're not talking. And that's a very good reminder to kind of monitor our words and think about them before we put them out there for people to see, because we may be irritated, but we don't know what's going on the other side in somebody else's house or somebody else's world, right?
Yeah, and we're all, financially, it's a strain to everyone as well, and everybody's thinking, people are, how am I going to make my rent? How am I going to buy groceries for my children? And things like that. Of course, the anxiety and the fear are there, and that's when we all get worked up and we say things and do things and yell, and we have to remember that we just all need to stay calm. And I didn't on Survivor. I had a lot of anxiety. I had a lot of emotions going through. And when we think about the reality show Survivor, the true reality is that happens in the real world. We all do these things. We all say things.
And we will get through it. You
Yes.
knew that there was going to be an end.
Mm-hmm.
And yet during that time, it's very fearful. I went through this years ago when I got out and started working, and I had studied law and gotten a law degree and interviewed everywhere. And within a year, my entire law firm had dissolved, and we had all this debt, and it was scary, and people acted badly. They really did. And it just reminds you that when people are stressed, they don't make good decisions, and you do have to take a pause. Now, I thought your words determination and confidence were very interesting, because you and I were talking, you actually had to kind of have a pep talk or a refocusing. Can you tell us about that? Because you did it with someone that we dearly love in Texas, Jimmy Johnson. So how did that conversation happen, and why?
Well, Coach Johnson was on my tribe, the former NFL football coach for, of course, the Dallas Cowboys. I reached out to Coach Johnson because I looked up to him as a leader. I felt like it was someone on my tribe at that point I could trust. And I walked over to him, and this was actually after I told the producers that I was quitting. And they were setting up the cameras for me to do my exit interview. And I'm standing in front of the hut. I'll never forget it. And Coach Johnson was standing there, and I grabbed his hand and I said, I really need to talk to you. I need to talk to someone. And he said, absolutely, I would love to talk to you. And he and I walked over and we sat on this bench, and they showed 3 to 4 minutes on national television, but he and I were actually there for at least 20 minutes. And it was his words. He inspired me. He said, you know, Holly, you can do this. This is hard. This is adversity. We don't know what tomorrow's going to be like. We're fighting the elements. It rained the first 17 nights we were out there. And his words, here you're in the middle of a jungle, and your goal in this game is to vote people off to get to the end. And he's inspiring me. And it just hit me. And I thought, you know what? He's right. I need to have some more confidence in myself to say that I can do this. And I need to have a little more determination in myself. And that's why I have those 2 words in there, because that's what it takes. And we all need a Jimmy Johnson in our life. We all need someone that we can turn to and say, you know what? And we also, as adults, why do we have such a hard time looking at someone and saying, I need some help?
Because we're very, most of us are so welcoming. We would help anyone who asks us, but then we don't ask for help. Right. A friend of mine actually wrote a book called Help Is Not a 4-Letter Word. Yes. Isn't that interesting? Yeah. Peggy Collins. And that's the case. It's, why don't we ask for help? So he actually asked you something about quitting too, right? What did he say?
He said, I don't think you need to quit. We need you. And I said, I was crying, and they showed it. And I said, I absolutely can't do this. I just know I can't do this. And he said, we need you.
Wow.
And that just hit me. And I thought, okay, that's when I really need to do this. So we all need to have a Jimmy Johnson, and we all need to be like Jimmy Johnson. I'm sure you as well, Linda, you've had people reach out to you right now, and you're somebody's Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah, I was surprised. A friend of mine who I don't see very often reached out to me last night, and she said, do you know this person? And told me some situations about his business. And I said, I don't remember him. And I said, are you sure you're talking to the right Linda? Because there's a couple of Lindas in our group. And she said, yeah, I think you could be a problem solver for him. Would you just get on the phone? And I said, of course. I mean, that's what I'm doing for my clients and for my friends is, what do you need? I can't do much right now, but I can definitely talk to you. Right. It sounds like that's what Jimmy did. He just kind of reframed it, helped you think through it. And what was nice was you were a coach. You were a volleyball coach, right?
Swim coach.
A what?
A swim coach.
A swim coach. Oh, even better. Yeah. So it was kind of coach to coach.
And I did think about my athletes when I was thinking about quitting. I thought, I'm a swim coach. At that time, I coached swimming. And what would my athletes think?
Right.
And so we also need to set the example. We need to be an example setter of saying we need to have confidence in ourselves, because if we don't believe in ourselves, how are others going to feel? And plus the determination. We all need to have that determination. You know, it's January 1 and we're determined to go to the gym every day and work out. And then 3 months down the line, oh, I'm going to go 3 days a week. And then 6 months down the line, you quit. That's not determination. You have to keep on that same schedule and keep going.
And that's so important now. Yes. You know, have the confidence, and sometimes we do get confidence by reaching out and helping others, but also have the determination. Maybe it is that you need to determine, I am going to get through this period. We definitely need you.
Yes.
In any situation, even if you're being laid off right now, even if you're experiencing some business losses, even if you think, oh goodness, I don't have that much to offer, please. You know, you have something to offer someone else, and you're also allowed to ask for help, even if it's just like you got to refocus. Holly, thank you so much.
Focus. We all need to focus on determination. Focus to the end, where we're going.
Well, thank you so much. And thanks. We're going to do a part 3. So thank you all for listening on, you know, how to negotiate these tough times. And we'll be back with Holly. Thanks.